From the Massachusetts Broadcasters Station of the Year, this is Western Mass News at 6 p.m.
Fire operations at Bondi's Island getting a boost from this afternoon's rain. The smoldering compost fire continues, though, to produce smoke, but crews expect to scale back their operations for tonight. Good Friday afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on Western Mass News. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Jordyn Jagalander. We have team coverage for you this evening, starting with Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo, who joins us live in Agawam with the very latest. Audrey?
Right now, as of 6 o'clock, fire officials say that they're going to be pulling back a lot of their field crews for the evening and just leaving a skeleton crew on the scene to make sure that there's no unexpected flare-ups or hot spots that pose a difficult or dangerous situation in the overnight hours. Now, going into tomorrow, crews say that they'll be back out here early in the morning to continue the time-consuming effort of pulling apart the burning compost pile and making sure all hot spots are extinguished. Thursday's fire on Bondi's Island continues to smoke. Piles containing yard waste compost from the cities of Springfield and Agawam, seen here on the Western Mass News Sky Drone, burned overnight into Friday. During the rainy afternoon, fire officials say surface-level flames were extinguished, but smolders continue deep in the pile. The only way to eliminate the danger and the smoke is ripping apart the compost pile more than 15 feet high.
The machinery is doing a great job with it. It's just slow going. There is a lot of material up there to pull apart.
There is good news for homeowners. Though the air was full of smoke, state hazmat officials didn't discover anything overtly dangerous burning in the compost.
They did not find any acute hazardous materials in the smoke.
Western Mass News spoke with the head of Springfield's Public Works Department, Chris Signoli. While fire officials say the cause is still under investigation, Signoli says Thursday's high winds and the process of composting itself created the perfect storm for a fire to spread.
Composting, it's an organic process, creates its own heat, and the material becomes extremely combustible.
Covanta, the company running the trash and yard waste operations on behalf of Springfield, stated the fire did not affect the trash landfill operations. Their spokesperson says they plan to conduct an investigation into the cause of the fire. But for some, Covanta's statement came too late.
We had no public statements whatsoever from Covanta until late this morning on Friday, so almost a full day since started.
Springfield City Councilor Michael Fenton is calling for an investigation into the fire and accuses Covanta of failing to address the smoke and air quality concerns in their statement.
I'd like a thorough investigation of exactly what happened, how a fire of this size and scale could have erupted at this site, and what measures and steps will be taken to make sure that it never happens again.
Now, even though officials say they found no particularly dangerous toxins in the smoke from this fire, obviously any kind of smoke is not safe to breathe for extended periods of time. So they are asking residents to keep their windows closed if they live near the area. When asked about a timeline, they say that could continue for another 3 to 5 days as they work to get the smoke and hot spots under control. Officials say they're going to give another operational update tomorrow morning in the daylight hours. Reporting live in Agawam, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thanks for that live report. You can see that rain in her live shot, and the weather came as a blessing for those who were fighting that fire.
For more on today's weather forecast, let's turn things over to meteorologist Jana Brown. Jana?
Yeah, guys, I mean, the rain for sure beneficial to that kind of situation. If today's weather was similar to yesterday's weather, they would have definitely been fighting more flames out there today. But so far, the Agawam area has picked up anywhere from 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rain, and that rain continues to fall, which is really good news. And like we just saw and heard, the flames here are pretty much gone, and now it's just that smolder. And we do have a good deal of rain that's falling currently, and we have more expected to fall through early tomorrow morning. One thing of concern, though, is that tomorrow we're going to dry out very quickly and we're going to get blustery again, but hopefully that won't be an issue for them. Now, rain has gotten just a little bit lighter out there compared to just a few hours ago when we were dealing with those heavier downpours. Visibilities are still kind of low, though. Six Flags, or this is not our Six Flags, this is our MGM Skycam. We're at 51 degrees. We have cloudy skies. Wind is light out of the north and will stay fairly light through the rest of tonight. Much cooler than this morning, actually. We're down to the upper 40s already in Pittsfield and Great Barrington. Lower lower 50s for the Pioneer Valley. If you're trying to walk your pup out tonight, just make sure that you have the rain gear ready to go for both of you. We've got little Baxter here from Michael looking very eager. Temperatures will be dropping into the 40s for Western Mass. Everyone will be back down to the low 40s by tomorrow morning. The Berkshires even some upper 30s. Some of the highest elevations could even see a few wet snowflakes as this all tapers off, which will happen close to sunrise. And then the sun comes back out and we end up with a nice weekend ahead. We'll take a closer look at that forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Jana, thank you. The New England Patriots having to cancel practice today, 2 days before their scheduled next game, after learning a fifth player has now tested positive for COVID-19.
Western Mass News reporter Kayla Burton joins us live from Foxborough to tell us how the league is tightening COVID-19 protocols amid the pandemic. Kayla?
Well, Chris and Jordyn, I feel like this storm right now is the epitome for what the New England Patriots have been facing for the past 2 weeks, as they've only really had 3 full practices within those 2 weeks due to more players testing positive for COVID-19. Now today, earlier this morning, the New England Patriots having to cancel practice after learning another player has tested positive for COVID-19. Offensive lineman James Ferentz, he tested positive for the coronavirus. Now he's been placed on the COVID-19 reserve list. Ferentz practiced with the team just on Thursday. Now this all coming 2 days before the Patriots are scheduled to host the Denver Broncos, a team that's been practicing specifically to take on the Pats for 2 weeks straight now. But the Patriots aren't the only team with players testing positive. Teams like the Atlanta Falcons, Tennessee Titans, Detroit Lions, and more also dealing with positive cases. Seeing the rise in cases, the NFL now tightening protocols amid the pandemic, the league mandating members who show flu-like symptoms like coughing, sore throats, or stuffy noses will all be reasons to send someone home for the day. NFL Chief Medical Officer Dr. Alan Sills tells Western Mass News, quote, even if they have a negative COVID-19 test that day, we're going to hold that individual out of the facility. Sills also saying there hasn't been an indication of any on-field transmission of the virus. Now, as of now, the Patriots and the Broncos are scheduled to take each other on here at Gillette Stadium for Sunday's game. Coming up later on Western Mass News tonight, you'll hear from veteran player Julian Edelman, his thoughts on all of these hardships amid the coronavirus pandemic and the season as it unfolds. Live in Foxborough, Kayla Burton, Western Mass News.
Kayla, thanks for that live report. Now to an exclusive story you'll only see here on Western Mass News as we check back in with a recovered COVID-19 patient who is still fighting to get back to his old self.
Western Mass News reporter Briseida Landaverde shares new information about his long road to recovery.
This can really take a lot from somebody. And it's hard.
Richard Davio tested positive for COVID-19 back in April. Western Mass News has followed his battle both in the hospital and now back at home. Now virus-free, Davio says he is thankful he did not lose his life, but he says he did lose something else, the ability to be himself.
It took my lifestyle. I loved cooking. I love cooking. I can't wait to get back. It took a lot.
Davio was at Bay State Medical Center for 80 days, followed by a month at a rehab center. And now he says while he sees improvement in his physical condition, there is still a long road ahead. One of the biggest side effects that is impacting his health and also his restaurant, Damn Yankees Barbecue, is that he is not able to fully open his hands or make a fist. Davio tells Western Mass News he will undergo a procedure to help get movement back in his hands.
They're going to break my joints to break up the scar tissue from being like this for so long in the hospital.
And Davio continues to experience other lingering side effects.
I get winded every once in a while. It's still hard for me to really take deep breaths. My lung capacity isn't what it used to be.
While Davio has been recovering, 2 employees have been running his restaurant. But Davio tells us he's decided to close down temporarily at the end of the month because of his continued recovery needs and for financial reasons. At this time, he doesn't know when he will be back open for business.
If I can pick up a knife again, and if I can open my hands again, if I can do the things that I can do, then I'll go back.
In the meantime, Davio's cousin and his wife have organized a fundraiser on Monday, October 19th at the Frontera Grill in Chicopee.
COVID really got him. So we're so happy he's still here, and this is the least we can do as a community to help him out.
On Monday, the Frontera Grill in Chicopee will donate 20% of all meal sales to the Davio family. For more information, head to our website, westernmassnews.com. For now, in studio, Brisita Landaverde for Western Mass News.
Switching now to our coronavirus coverage for you. Cases continue to rise across the Bay State. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health reporting more than 700 new cases of COVID-19 in the Bay State. The total number of confirmed cases now rising past 139,000. The state is also seeing 30 new deaths from the virus. The statewide death toll now stands at more than 9,400.
And for more coverage on the coronavirus emergency as it continues to develop, log on to our free Western Mass News streaming app.
New at 6, Springfield police are asking for your help identifying a suspect that they believe was involved in the October 5th vandalism of the Court Street Black Lives Matter mural. You can see that video there on your screen. Police tell us it occurred a little after midnight, the suspect arriving on a bicycle and leaving shortly thereafter. The mural has been defaced a number of times over the past 2 months. Detectives tell Western Mass News tonight that they've been able to request felony charges for the September 14th vandalism, but all others are still under investigation. Anyone with any information should contact the Springfield Police Department.
Now to new information out of Springfield. A 25-year-old man's been arrested in connection to a Thursday night shooting. That shooting happened near Franklin and Liberty Streets right around 11 o'clock. Police say the man shot a woman who's currently in serious condition at Bay State Medical Center. The suspect was also injured in the shooting and was taken to the hospital, but has since been released. Detectives are now working to determine if a second shooter was involved.